Oh look, here's the table.
Is there someone sleeping at a wedding?
I guess some people just don't enjoy weddings like we do. You know who she reminds me of? Poor Queen Jocasta.
Oh, that poor family. Everything that's happened to them has been such a tragedy. They seem cursed by the gods.
Oh honey, didn't you know? According to Tiresias, King Creon was cursed for daring to defy the will of the gods by sentencing Antigone to death.
Oh, I think I've heard that story. My husband told me all about it. He's an advisor to the king, you know.
Oh yeah, we know.
But honestly, I can't blame my king for his actions. After all the upheaval, when Oedipus was king, Creon was only trying to bring political stability. You know, in Athens, it's lawful to forbid the burial of traitors in the city limits. Creon was simply punishing a traitor and the accomplice who tried to honor him.
But who can blame poor Antigone? It only makes sense that she wanted to obey the gods at all costs, to try to rid herself of the tragedy that haunts her family.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Daughter of an incestuous marriage and sister to two brothers that turned this city into a battleground?
Yes, Antigone is torn between her civic duty to follow the law declared by the moral Creon and her duty to the immortal gods to give her beloved brother a proper burial. Antigone's unbending will in chasing her passion ultimately leads to her suicide, an act that must be taken to simultaneously reinforce the dramatic extremes she will go to uphold her morals and the negative consequences for those who live at the extremes of action and emotion. Creon's subsequent punishment through the deaths of his son and wife reveals the importance of seeking wisdom and reason before tragic consequences ensue.
Antigone, what's the matter? Trouble? Clearly. You sound so dark and grim.
Why not our own brother's burial? Hasn't Creon graced one with all the rights and disgraced the other? Eteocles, they say, has been given full military honors. Rightly so. Creon's laid him in the earth, and he goes with glory down among the dead. But the body of Polynices, who dies miserably, why, a citywide proclamation, rumor has it, forbids anyone to bury him, even mourn him. He's to be left, unwept, unburied, a lovely treasure for birds that scan the field and feast to their heart's content. Such, I hear, is the martial law our good Creon lays down for you and me. Yes, me, I tell you. And he's coming here to alert the uninformed in no uncertain terms. And he won't treat the matter lightly. Whoever disobeys him least will die. His doom is sealed. Stoning to death inside the city walls. There, you have it. You'll soon show what you are. Worth your breeding, Ismene, or a coward, for all your royal blood.
My poor sister, if things have come to this, who am I to make or mend them? Tell me, what good am I to you?
Decide, will you share the labor, share the work?
What work? What's the risk? What do you mean?
Will you lift up his body with me with these bare hands and lower it with me?
What? You'd bury him? When a law forbids the city?
Yes, he is my brother, and deny it as you will, he your brother too. No one will ever convict me for a traitor.
So desperate, and Creon has expressly...
No, he has no right to keep me for my own.
Oh, my sister, think. Think how our own father died, hated, his reputation in ruins. Driven on by the crimes he brought light to himself, to gouge out his eyes with his own hands, then mother, his mother and wife, both in one, mutilating her life in the twisted noose, and last, our two brothers dead in a single day. Both shedding their own blood, poor suffering boys, battling out their common destiny hand to hand. Now look at the two of us, left alone. Think of what death will die, the worst of all, if we violate the laws and override the fixed decree of the throne, its power. We must be sensible. Remember, we are women. We're not born to contend with men. Then, too, we're underlings, ruled by much stronger hands. So we must submit in this, and things will still worse. I, for one, I'll beg the dead to forgive me. I'm forced. I have no choice. I must obey. The ones who stand in power, why rush to extremes? It's madness, madness. I always liked that Ismene. She's obedient, just like a woman should be. She dares not defy the man who controls her two counts, as both her uncle and king. Now she's got a level head on her shoulders, let me tell you.
We live in a world ruled by men. We would be fools to forget that it's the gods that are rulers of men. If you ask me, it's Antigone that has her priorities straight. Her decision to disobey her uncle and king is only because she wishes to fend off any more tragic events that would befall her cursed family. Every man deserves a proper send-off to the afterlife, traitor or not.
But Ismene said it herself. Why must Antigone be so extreme? She lives at the extremes of both emotion and action. She puts her faith in the gods who are so fickle. She thinks she lives under a death sentence. In reality, she was the one who put her there.
She may live at the extremes of emotion and action, but she is noble and passionate in doing what she believes is right.
She demonstrated passion that burned bright and quick. Creon brought her to swift justice.
Reverence asks some reverence in return, but attacks on power never go unchecked. Not by the man who holds the reign of power. Your own blind will, your passion has destroyed you.
Let me go. No one to weep for me, my friends. No wedding song. They take me away in all my pain. The road lies open, waiting, never again. The law forbids me to see the sacred hour day. I am agony. No tears for the destiny that's me. No loved ones mourn my death.
Can't you see? If a man could wail his own dirge before he dies, he'd never finish. Take her away, quickly, wall her up in a tomb. You have your orders. Abandon her there, alone, and let her choose death or a buried life. Death or a buried life with a good roof for shelter. As for myself, my hands are clean. This young girl, dead or alive, she will be stripped of her rights, her stranger's rights. Here is the world above. Yeah.
Oh, poor Antigone. Why should she be punished for following her passion?
Really? Why should we feel bad for her? The chorus said it really well. Attacks on power never go unchecked. Creon was fulfilling his responsibility. He was acting as king to bring strength and order to a city that desperately seeks it.
But don't you see? He's attacking the power of the gods, who have much greater power than King of Thebes. Everything he says to degrade Antigone's argument can be applied to him too. Hence the use of pronouns instead of a specific name.
But he is only following through on his word, like any true leader. In fact, I think it shows strength. How he's willing to punish his niece, his own family member, in order to remain impartial to the law.
If he doesn't care between giving Antigone death or a buried life, he obviously just wants to feel powerful. Antigone has made him feel powerless by being the first citizen to defy him, and a woman nonetheless. Now he attempts to make her powerless and keeps his hand clean in the process. Oh tomb, my bridal bed, my house, my prison, cut in the hollow rock, my everlasting watch, I'll soon be there, soon embrace my own, the great growing family of our dead, Persephone has received among her ghosts. I, the last of them all, the most reviled by far, go down before my destined times run out. But still, I go, cherishing one good hope. My rival may be dear to father, dear to you, my mother, dear to you, my loving brother Eteocles. When you died, I washed you with my hands, I dressed you all, I poured the cups across your tombs. But now, Polynices, because I laid your body out as well, this is my reward. Nevertheless, I honor you, the decent will admit it, well and wisely too.
Yeah. Antigone seems so accepting in the face of death. The fact that she is willing to embrace her death bewilders me. To me, it just proved that she's not in her right mind. To be so steadfast in your beliefs at such a young age, I'm not sure if it's admirable or foolish.
Well, of course she gains nothing by renouncing her religious beliefs. She's now facing the death that she's already predicted, and like she says, she'll be rewarded in the afterlife by joining her great growing family of our dead. Her repetition of dear to you shows her genuinely growing joy about returning to her family.
But what a pity! She must realize all the joys of mortal life that she will miss. Her death, while noble, could still be considered a punishment for her extremity.
If you were wise or well, you would know that her allusion to Persephone shows that she'll be renewed after meeting her family. In a way, her death will allow her to finally live. Never, I tell you, if I had been the mother of children, or if my husband died, exposed and rotting, I'd never have taken this ordeal upon myself, never defied our people's will. What law, you ask, do I satisfy with what I say? A husband dead, there might have been another, a child by another too if I had lost the first. But mother and father both lost in the halls of death. No brother could ever spring to light again. For this law alone I held you first in honor. For this crown, the king judges me, a criminal, guilty of dreadful outrage, my dear brother. And now he leads me off, a captive in his hands, denied all joy of marriage, raising children, deserted so by loved ones, struck by fate. I descend alive to the caverns of the dead. What law of the mighty gods have I transgressed? Why look to the heavens any more, tormented as I am? Whom to call? What comrades now? Just think. My reverence only brands me for irreverence. Once I suffer, I will know that I was wrong. But if these men are wrong, let them suffer. Nothing worse than they mete out to me, those masters of injustice.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the only justice that can still be delivered to Creon is from these masters of injustice, who she feels have betrayed her. Her rhetorical questions show that by following the gods, she has transgressed and been tormented.
Foolish girl, it's her own stubbornness that led to her death. She will adhere to the laws of the gods, and she settled upon either living her life according to that principle or to otherwise leave this world forever.
Why, do you remember a time when we used to rage at how this world works back when we were young and idealistic? I think her passion is admirable, especially in a male-dominated society where women are expected to be obedient and subservient.
Still the same rough winds, the wild passion raging through the girl.
Take her away. You're wasting time. You'll pay for it too.
Oh God, the voices of death, it's come, it's here.
True. Not a word of hope. Your doom is sealed.
Land of Phoebe, city of all my fathers, oh you gods, the first gods of the race, they drag me away now, no more delay. Look on me, you noble sons of Phoebe, the last of a great line of kings. I alone see what I suffer now at the hands of what breed of men. All for reverence, my reverence for the gods.
Go.
I'm torn between Creon and Antigone. On one side, Polynices was a traitor who marched on his own city. He didn't deserve the honor of a proper burial. But on the other side, who are we to ignore the declaration of the gods?
This might be treasonous, but why should we listen to the gods when they themselves gifted us with wisdom and reason to make good decisions? You yourself know the fate of Creon, who ignored reason and went forward with his foolish punishment of Antigone.
That of all the ills afflicting men, the worst is lack of judgment.
What do you make of that? The lady's gone, without word, good or bad.
I'm alarmed too, but here's my hope. Faced with her son's death, she finds it unbecoming to mourn in public. Inside, under her roof, she'll set her women to the task and wail the sorrow of the house. She's too discreet. She won't do something rash.
I'm not so sure. To me, at least, a long, heavy silence promises danger, just as much as a lot of empty outcries.
We'll see if she's holding something back, hiding some passion in her heart. I'm going in. You may be right. Who knows? Even too much silence has its dangers.
The king himself coming towards us. Look, holding the boy's head in his hands. Clear, damning proof. It's the right to say so. Proof is his own madness, no one else's. No, his own blind wrongs.
Oh, so senseless, so insane, my crimes, my stubborn, deadly. Look at us, the killer, the killed, father and son, the same blood, the misery, my plans, my mad fanatic heart, my son cut off so young, I dead, lost to the world, not through your stupidity, no, my own.
Too late, you see what justice means.
Oh, I've learned through blood and tears, then it was then, when the god came down and struck me, a great weight, shattering, driving me down with that wild savage path, running, or ruining, trampling down my joy. Oh, the agony, the heartbreaking agony of our lives.
Master, what a hoard of grief you have, and you come forward. Grief that lies in the hand you brought yourself. The rest, in the house, you'll see it all too soon.
What now? What's worse than this?
The queen is dead, the mother of this dead boy, and mother to the end, poor thing, the wounds are fresh.
Go.
Creon was too prideful. That was his hamartia, his ultimate downfall. While Antigone's death was tragic, she reveals a commitment to an identity founded on the desire to fulfill her goals and uphold her beliefs in the face of adversity and social conflict. His misdeed was small, banning the burial of Polynices, but he was punished tenfold by the gods. Just look at how he handles it.
No, harbor of death, so choked, so hard to cleanse. Why me? Why are you killing me? Hurled of the pain, more words, more grief. I died once, you kill me again and again. What's your report, boys? Some news for me? My wife dead? Oh dear God. Slaughter heaped on slaughter.
See for yourself, now they bring her body from the palace.
Oh no, another one. A second loss to break the heart. What next? My fate still waits for me. I just held my son in my arms, and now, look, a new corpse rising before my eyes. Wretched, helpless mother. Oh, son.
She stabbed herself at the altar, then her eyes went dark. After she'd raised a cry for the noble fate of Margarius, the hero killed in the first assault, then payment. Then for her dying breath, she called down, torments on your head. You killed her sons.
Oh, the dread. I shudder with dread. Why not kill me too? Run me through with a good sharp sword. Oh God, the misery, the anguish. I am churning within it, going under.
Yes, and the dead, the woman lying there, piles the guilt of all the deaths on you.
How did she end her life? What bloody stroke?
She drove home to her heart with her own hand. Once she learned her son was dead, that agony.
And the guilt is all mine. Can never be fixed on other man. No escape for me. I killed you. God help me, I admit it all.
Woe is Creon. This seems unfair. Antigone followed her passions. She broke the law to bury her traitorous brother. But when Creon remains steadfast to his words, he is punished.
Creon was warned of the consequences by the prophet Tiresias. It is his own fault that he didn't repent fast enough. Remember that Creon was also guilty of being too quick to follow his passions. leaving no time to see reason. See how Crayon begs us to all go away.
Take me away, quickly, out of sight. I do not even exist. I am no one, nothing.
Good advice. If there's any good in suffering, quickest is the best when troubles block the way.
Come, let it come. The best of fates for me that brings me the final day. Best fate of all. Oh, quickly now, so I never have to see another sunrise.
That will come when it comes. We must deal with all that lies before us. The future rests with the ones who tend to the future.
The prayer. I poured my heart into that prayer.
No prayers now. For mortal men there is no escape from the doom we must endure.
Take me away, I beg you, out of sight. A rash, indiscriminate fool. I murdered you, my son, against my will. You too, my wife. Wailing wreck of men. Whom to look, where to leave for support. Wherever I touch goes wrong. Once more, a crushing fate come down upon my head.
Wait, I know you think Crayon was in the wrong, but I feel bad for him. He lost his wife and his son. Besides, he hadn't even been king for very long. With a job like that, you're bound to make mistakes.
Crayon acted as a tyrant. He believed that he was the absolute authority. He usurped the power of the gods. His inflexibility and unfailing punishing Antigone led to all the suffering. His failure was that he lived in the extremes of power, a power that wasn't his. He's lucky that he came away with his life. Thank the gods that he repented at the last moment and realized reason.
You've told a lovely story, girls, but you've forgotten the most important part.
Wisdom is by far the greatest part of joy, and reverence towards the gods must be safeguarded. The mighty words of the proud are paid in full with the mighty blows of fate, and at long last these blows will teach us wisdom.
You've been awake this whole time?
Antigone's battle between passion towards her family and responsibility as a citizen reveals that in the end, seeking wisdom and following the law of the gods is triumphant to following the law of the land and blocking oneself from knowledge.